Right, class, so today is May 12th. Our objective for today is, usually you guys are producing answers for me. Today I want you to be creating questions to introduce our next and last unit for this class. So our agenda is, first, let me give you some information about the projects that you did and what the retake process would look like for that. Second, you are then going to do what's called the question formulation technique. This is a multi-step process. Because we're in this unique situation, we will not be able to do all of the steps that are supposed to be done in this process, but we can do some of them. And the idea is just to introduce this unit and get your brains working, and also kind of show the importance of not just answering questions, but making sure we ask the right questions too. So there's 4 steps. It says here QFT steps 1 through 3. You need to do all steps 1 and 4. I was going to put 2 steps together into one, but I've changed my mind. So do the worksheet. It's due today, 3 p.m., and it's all about making questions. So first, for your projects, I have graded over half of them as of the time of me making this video. I am hoping to finish the rest of them tomorrow, which will be today for you watching this. Retakes should get done Friday 3 p.m. For seniors, they have to be done by Friday 3 p.m. because that's the end of your high school careers. For the rest of you, it should be finished by then as well. What you need to do is look at the feedback I gave you and then make whatever necessary revisions and updates from what you originally submitted to me. And once you've done that, you need to tell me you did it, leave a private comment or send me an email, and then I can give you points back based on how well you made those improvements. So once again, Friday 3 p.m. If you have a question about how to retake your specific project, just let me know. We can work through it together. So there's going to be a worksheet for you. Step 1 of this worksheet is pretty simple. You're going to be assigned a group of 3, 4, maybe 5 pictures for you to carefully analyze and consider. So what I want you to do is look at like the big picture of what those pictures are representing to you and illustrating. But I also want you to look at the little details in each picture too. Then you are going to create a list of as many questions as possible related to that picture. And as long as it's related to the pictures you have, there are no dumb questions. So even if it's a super basic, obvious question, write it out. Type it out in the box that I have for you. The more questions you have, the better. So the goal isn't even necessarily quality, though I do want you asking quality questions, but it's also about quantity. How many questions can you ask too? What I'd like you to do is literally use your phone or watch or something, and for 8 minutes, once you're done with step 1, time yourself and type out as many questions as you possibly can. The goal is you'll have well over 10 questions created. There's not a specific number. Once again, the more the better. After you're done creating your list of questions, what you will do is organize and filter your questions into 2 different categories. One is open-ended questions. The other one is closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that you've asked that would require more than a 1-word response. Closed-ended questions are questions where you could answer it in just 1 word. So in your list of questions, what I'd like you to do is all the ones that are open-ended, which means the answer to that would require more than a word. You're just going to bold those questions. And then the questions that would only be a 1-word yes or no type of answer, please highlight those questions so I know which ones are open-ended and which ones are closed-ended. Then the last step you need to do after you've made your list, you've looked at the pictures, you've organized your questions to closed and open-ended questions, is out of your list of questions, choose the 3 that you think are your best. And then briefly explain why and how those are your best questions. And realize when I say best, I don't mean like the easiest to answer. What I mean is which questions do you think are the most valuable, the most important, the most meaningful. So for this part, I'm looking for the quality of question, not the quantity. So tell me which 3 are your best, and then really briefly, I don't need a long description, but make it somewhat clear. Explain why you think those 3 are your best. So I need you to do this. Let's do 3 p.m. today. What you have is a slideshow that's posted with this assignment with different countries. So we have Algeria, and then there's 4 pictures that go with Algeria. And they'll tell you and of when and where the pictures are taken and the source of who took the picture. Then you have Bolivia. It goes in alphabetical order. What you need to do is figure out which country you're assigned. So each country has 2 different people assigned to it. Once again, the slideshow goes alphabetical order, as does this list. So you're only focusing on the pictures that are for your country. You're not doing all of these pictures because there's a lot of different slides in this slideshow. So find where it starts, look at those pictures, create that list. Excuse me, the worksheet here looks like this. So it breaks it down by steps. You've looked at the pictures. Here's where you will type your questions. It's a numbered list, so please make sure you number them. It's again 8 minutes. As many questions. You should definitely have double-digit numbers of questions, both quality and quantity. No dumb questions as long as it's related to the picture. Filter out your questions here by bolding the ones that are open-ended and highlighting the ones that are closed-ended. And then in this little chart table here, just copy and paste the 3 questions you think are your best. And here's where you'll briefly explain why. So that's the work you need to do today. Please let me know if you have questions, and I will talk to you more tomorrow. One last thing. I think there's an AP test tomorrow. If I remember correctly, it's AP Lit. Tomorrow's work will be very short, shorter than what we're doing today. But if you're taking that test tomorrow and for some reason you can't, you don't have time to do the little bit of work I give you, please let me know. I want you to try to get my work done because there's not a lot. I don't know if any of you are taking that test even. But please let me know if you need a little extra time to do it. I don't think you would, but just to let you know that's okay with me if necessary. Alright, I'll talk to you guys more tomorrow.